What's going on, everyone? This is Cedric Sky.
I'm Becky.
And today we're going to be talking about why we decided to go public with our relationship. And when I say public, I mean YouTube public. Alright, if you guys are new to this channel, we are a half Korean couple living here in Seoul, South Korea, and we make videos about our relationship as an intraracial couple, and also about Korean culture, given that we're half Korean. And so if that's something you're into, definitely hit that subscribe button and click that notification bell. Alright, so why did we decide to go public?
You know what? I actually don't like going public.
That I know.
How did you know?
Because you barely wanted to let people know you were dating me.
That's true. I just have a complex about that. Yeah. I just didn't like people knowing I was in a relationship.
Why?
Because I felt like it was kind of ownership.
Really?
Yeah. Because I feel like you lose your own identity. I mean, this is not my definition of relationships. But I feel like if you're not careful in a relationship or you don't have the right heart, you can lose yourself in that relationship and you become this person's girlfriend, not Becky and this person who decide to be in a relationship mutually together. Do you see what I mean? So I think I had a little bit of that fear, and so I just didn't want anyone to know. I mean, that's not the way to resolve that issue. But that was like my quick fix. Like, just don't tell anyone you're dating anyone. So
what was your plan? Just to keep going with that until people found out?
Yeah, that was my plan. And people found out.
Oh,
yeah, because so many people were like, are you guys dating? I was like, how did you know? Like, that's kind of how it went down every time.
Wow.
But then after a while, I became more confident. And I felt like I wasn't scared. And on the flip side, I actually was really happy and proud of our relationship.
Well, that's good to know.
Then I told the whole world from the rooftops.
You didn't do all that.
I didn't, but I then stopped feeling scared.
Oh, that's good.
I think that a red flag of a relationship is if you don't want people to know, personally.
Yeah. Well, I'm the type, as soon as I get in a relationship, everybody gonna know. Like, I haven't been in a relationship in years before I started dating
Yeah?
Becky. Yeah, seriously. So the reason why we wanted to talk about this is because time to time we'll get comments and people saying, well, why are you guys going public with your relationship on YouTube? Or like, don't you think that it's not safe to do it because you might break up? What will happen if, like, you know, you guys part ways, blah, blah, blah. And those are, I mean, I would say those questions are quite valid, but I think it was our personal choice to just go ahead and go public with it, in a sense of, yeah, like, let's just make YouTube videos together and let's just join forces. That's why she's on the channel now. And, you know, like, I looked at it as a very positive thing. Now, I understand that there could be potential risks involved in putting a new relationship online. And especially in this day and age where you have, you know, YouTube and Instagram, you have these like influencer relationships. Because how many times have you guys seen someone that you follow on Instagram or YouTube that were in a relationship, whether their page was based on the relationship or not, or you just knew they were dating someone and they're always like in each other's pictures, and then they have this like super epic breakup post and everyone's sad.
I know.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, I really thank you so much for all the great times. And it's like very sappy and lovely and wonderful. But come on, you really think every single breakup is so happy, healthy like that? In a way, you do have to keep up an image, right?
Yeah. I mean, but some people are like legit, like they're genuine when they say that. Like, it's just, it happens, you know, in this age of, I guess, social media.
Yeah.
And so that's a risk that we felt like it was worth taking, because number one, we don't, and no one really goes into a relationship expecting it to like end, but you know, we're in it for the long haul. we're serious about it, and we're confident enough in our own personal relationship to where if we were to be more open with the world about who we are, not everything, because some stuff ain't y'all business, but you know what I mean? Like whatever we're comfortable enough sharing, we feel like it would be a benefit to people, especially the type of relationship that we have. It just makes sense because obviously I love sharing about the fact that I grew up half Korean, Black and Korean, sharing the different aspects of those cultures and what made me today. And then like you come along and we meet and you're into pretty much the same thing, with the Halfie project, and it just made sense. And I feel like our motivations for doing that, a big part of that is to help people and to enlighten people, to educate people. So it only makes sense, I think, for us to do this together, at least in our minds.
So for me, it's kind of threefold. So the first one is the personal aspect. Say even if we broke up, okay, and it did become a public thing, I personally think breakups can be handled well, one. And so I have enough confidence in you as an individual, me as an individual, that even if it did reach that point, it'd be like, okay, and we could handle it well with maturity. So it wouldn't be a big, messy, dramatic thing that happened in front of everybody, like a public meltdown. So that's the first one. And then the second one is, it was very natural because we both have very similar interests and similar, I guess, like life goals to be sharing these things. And I was doing Halfie project, and then you kind of traipsed in, and it just happened very naturally that the podcast, for example, fell into your hands, right? And so all of those things happening simultaneously, and it wasn't weird or jerky. It was just, it just happened so smoothly. So on the business side, that made sense to me, right?
Yeah.
You filled certain needs that I had, and I filled certain needs that you had, speaking businessly, right? And then thirdly is that we both feel that sharing about interracial relationships, mixed culture relationships, mixed ethnicity relationships, now especially more than ever, and even though this should have been important no matter what time, but now as the world is more globalized and people are dating across borders, and you're meeting all kinds of human beings that you never met before, I feel that it is important to show what a healthy relationship looks like.
Right.
And in a way, it's kind of normalizing that. This wasn't to put a pedestal on what our relationship, but just to be like, guys, it's a relationship. It's just something we wanted to show people, like this kind of relationship can exist, and it's healthy and happy in a way to abolish misconceptions about mixed people and mixed relationships.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there are a lot of people out there that who consume our content, and we get comments all the time about, especially like when they watch my parents' story and the struggles that my parents went through, my mom being Korean, my dad being African American in the 80s, and a lot of them, they'll write in and say, I'm going through that right now. I have a boyfriend that is a different race and my family doesn't accept them, but your story of your parents or your story, your relationship with your girlfriend is really encouraging me and helping me out. And I find that extremely fulfilling. And also, like, I sort of feel like we have a responsibility because of who we are to be able to, and because of the platform that we have as well, to be able to encourage people and to give people hope, and to also, like you said, sort of normalize the fact that we're in an interracial relationship. It's not about glorifying the fact that we're in an interracial relationship, because whatever.
We do celebrate that.
We celebrate it, of course. But first of all, it's because we're human beings. We have a connection with each other, But again, we can't deny who we are, and we also have the ability to be able to communicate and a platform to do it. So why not? So that's sort of the angle that I think that we come from. And I'll say this. I think the reward is so much greater than the risk. You know what I mean? Like the risk of us breaking up or the risk of us, our relationship falling apart. I think the reward is so much greater because of the people that we can impact, the lives that we can inspire.
People we get to meet and connect with.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I love the fact that through maybe a story or through our lives or relationship or through like my parents' relationships that we could potentially, I don't know, like, I don't want to sound like a superhero, but we can really inspire someone to keep going through the hard times in their relationship and they actually stick it through and it works out in the end. Whereas when they watched our video, they were at a point of maybe giving up. But because of our video, they had another, just, I guess, sense of hope and they kept going and, the story worked out, So I like that aspect.
I think, the way that I imagine it or try to put it into words is that the only things that have ever transformed people's minds or a culture overall or a society are stories. And I do think that they always seem to center around love of some kind. Love for a person, love for your country, love for your family, maybe for your friend. And that's a very powerful thing. And stories are the medium that we share these emotions and we connect. And then when my heart is changed by your story, then suddenly that changes me and the way I act and the way I view other people. And I think that by having this kind of story, and growing up, I didn't really see many other mixed relationships, right? Or mixed couples. And there's many dividing lines, especially in the US, but everywhere in the world, based by race and how you look. And your upbringing. And I think if we have that kind of story that can cross those kind of borders, and that wasn't the intent when we started dating, but I see that exists and we have that potential and now we have that platform, I think it's really valuable to be vulnerable and open with your stories, because I think those are the most powerful transformative tools any person has. So I think us being able to share that can be a little risky, but I agree with you that I think the reward is much greater.
Very well put.
Thanks. I was thinking about it as I was talking.
We just wanted to share that with you guys, just to give you guys a little bit of insight on our thought process, especially when it comes to making videos and why we do it. Hopefully you found that insightful. We're gonna see you guys in the next video, but before you go, if you're new to the channel, remember to hit that subscribe button. Follow us on social media, on Instagram, and also we want to thank our Patreon supporters. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. If you are interested in considering supporting us, there's a link in the description below, and we would love for you to be part of the Sky crew. We'll see you guys in the next video, and remember to always seize the day. Peace.
Peace.